Lyrically and musically, I don't compromise lyrically. I'm not gonna sing about it or say some shit that is not, it's not me. Sex and blah blah. I'm not gonna talk about bitches and shit like that. And I'm not gonna talk about shooting nobody and or acting gang. So yeah, there's certain lines that I don't cross. What I want to do with this record, because my past records, I would write part of the song, but then I would get into the music, like the beat, and then I would try finish writing the song like while I'm in the studio, or leave it unfinished till a later time. But this time I didn't like that, and I like evolving, I like growing. I don't like just being the same. I have to learn. I learn from myself. And so I said to myself this time, I want focus on the words them. Don't get into the don't go to the party. Don't go to the party. Let's focus on the emotion and what I want, how I feel, and get that done before I get into the party zone. You know what I say? So that is where it's going to be done from now on. Because I feel it's important and I feel good about it, and it's a good way, and it take time. It take patience. It take patience. Some songs come like that, but most of them it take patience for the reveal. And yes, but I still like there's still inspiration once I get into like the vocal booth for sing it now. There's still new things that pop in, but the more the idea of it and what it means already established. So but it takes some patience because sometimes you get frustrated. Get the writer's block or some shit like that. And you like, but you just have to let it go. And then all of a sudden something just snap and it just come. For everything I do, the glory should not be to me. It should be to Jah. And I wanted that to be the first song because that is the first thing. There's nothing before that. I'm secondary to that. So with this production on it, I did demos. I did demos for all the songs. I did demos for this song, worked out the horn phrase, everything, and carried to the musician them, and then we rehearse. And this another thing I did on this album that's different is that I had one band and we rehearsed. Past few albums, no rehearsal. And I brought in my brother Steven to help with production too. So me and Steve, we've been working for years. From we're little kids, we've been working. We had a tape deck, we had 2 tape decks, then we had 4 tracks, then we had 8 tracks. And it kept growing. So the rehearsal was very important. And then the way me and the engineer, we spoke about the whole album. Like the philosophy going into this was to record it the highest quality we could with the best mics and whatever we needed. I got a Rupert Neve board because I like the sound of the Rupert Neve. The EQs, we get some 10 Neve 1048, I think that's what it's called. And so my statement was I want everything to run through Earth. I don't want nothing go straight digital. I don't want the music go from a instrument to just digital. I want it run through some iron, some metal. So everything had to go through something physical before it went to the digital. And that was the philosophy, because we wanted to get that human sound, that earth sound, that earth feeling. And that's the next thing we said to yeah, right, it's how it sound is one thing, but how does it make us feel? That's the next thing. And so the feeling, that was the that was the priority, how it make us feel. And one of the things we did with the instrumentation was that we tuned in 432 hertz. Now, the normal thing, most music is tuned to 440 hertz. And I've been tuning to 440 hertz from I began, you know. But exploring music as a student of music, I heard about 432 hertz, and they said it was closer to the human frequency, you know, human, how we vibrate, our frequency. And that it used to be 432, but then something changed and they made it like a standard 440. So I started recording, I started rehearsing in 432 for shows, even before I went into the studio. And I like it. I like the vibration. And you know, something new always kind of give new energy. Like, oh yeah, this is new. It kind of give another, like, you know, another excitement. You know what I say? So I like 432 hertz. I think it for me, it vibrates at a nice something. The dissonance, the resonance of it, we really like it. There's something about it that I like. And so, yeah, you know, so all of that was put into Jah We Give Glory and the album, you know. And then in the middle of Jah We Give Glory, I bring in Naya Bingi drumming because that's the spiritual music that I grew up with was Naya Bingi drumming, which is Rasta drumming or Rastafari drum, you know, when we did the ceremonies. So I pay homage to that also, you know. There's two kind of quotes in that song. Make it to paradise and make it paradise. Now, what you did was make it paradise because you was in the UK. So, you know, your head, you understand? So that was one of the concept of that song too, is that make it paradise. Like, you know, don't, you know, in our head, we can do a lot of things with our minds, you know, to alleviate situations or emotions or mental issues. You know, our mind very powerful that way. My wife, that's her favorite song, my wife. She loves that song. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was more than just about a place. You know, it's not like a physical place, really. You know, it's a spiritual, mental place. But it also, for some, will be a physical place. And that song, I brought on Jake, my friend Jake from Hawaii, who plays the ukulele. And it was always that way. It was always just a simple song with guitars. And like it was always that way, and it was never gonna change because that's the way it made us feel good. You know, it was I never like that song just it was I was never gonna get crazy with it. Let's add this, let's do this, let's make it this, let's make it that. I was always gonna leave it as it was created. And that's how that song was created. That is like the demo version of the song, basically. You know, that's my demo, you know. From the back one, love is my religion. Well, a few could have been. I mean, I like love is my religion, you know. You know, Bob is a revolutionary, and that kind of revolutionary, you know, moving forward, evolving. You know, if you say something like that it sounds simple, but it mean only, you know. Yeah, love is my religion. But the funny thing is, many more for Bob, which is on this album. I tell people, yeah, I'm gonna be more open about my experiences, you know, now because more I want to open up to, you know, everyone. And, you know, so many more for Bob, because again, we talk about spirituality. Many more for Bob is one of the songs them that I think when I was writing it, when I was in the studio alone doing the demo for that. It's almost like I felt my father was singing that song. It's weird, it's very strange, but it's like him could have sing that song. Could be one of his songs. And I like, you know, so there was some kind of, you know, some kind of experience there that like is a shared sentiment it's a shared sentiment. It's not just me alone. Like it's the same sentiment, you know. Ay, ay, ay. Necessary evil. Man, I might understand that language still. For some people, it's more dangerous than for others. I'm an independent artist. You know, I'm a free man. And so I don't do anything evil. 'Cause I'm free. I'm independent. I don't need to. I don't need to do that. But the industry, in the industry, some people have to sell themselves, sell them body, sell them sexuality for make it. Sell an image that is just an image. Those are the necessary evil of the industry that people who are not free, people who are not independent have to do to do what they need to do. You know? We do music for different reasons. I mean, music give me a good living, you know, in terms of a financial thing and stuff like that. You know, we can work with it. But that is not the real reason why we do it. And, you know what I mean? If with the music, we have it in us. So we're not doing we're not focusing on let's do something to make the money, you know? Focusing on let's do something that you feel like doing for real, you know? And not everybody have that freedom or that independence. And a part of that freedom is also the legacy that my father left for us, obviously, right? Because he was on his way to that freedom. That's what he always would preach. Him and my mother was like, yo, independent. The mafia independent. I think he was about to leave that contract right before, you know, and pass away. So as a kid growing up, we absorb these philosophies and we find them, they connect to us ourselves. And so when I got the chance to be free, I take the chance. And so the necessary evils are not the same for me as it is for some other people. You know, sometimes, you know, sometime maybe something come across like, hey, somebody, you know, there's a song for something or whatever, and say, I don't really feel like to do it. But you know, my wife or somebody say, no, man, you know, because sometimes you do things, it's not evil, but you don't want them, but you find that you do them to not for it, but for the next step after it. Like there's things that also expose you to other people, to other ears or stuff, or to other audiences or things that is necessary to do because we want this music to reach more people. So if that, you know, that kind of would be the thing that sometimes, sometimes I might not feel like there's something and I do it because I look towards the future. I'm not looking just at that. I'm looking towards after that, you know, where it's going, where this message is going and where it's living, you know. But lyrically and musically, I don't compromise lyrically. I'm not going to sing about it or say some shit that is not, you know, it's not me. You know, sex and blah, blah. You know, I'm not going to talk about bitches and shit like that. And, you know, I'm not going to talk about shooting nobody and or acting, you know, so yeah, there's certain lines that I don't cross, you know.